to all the up there. So let me share with you my first astral travel. Well, in a long time, not my first, but the conscious exit projection. I finally managed it. You know, I have very few astral projection experiences that I can recall that were conscious, whereby, you know, I laid down, charged my body with energy, and you know, went whee and flew around, and then said, okay, that's enough, I'm going back to my body, and then went back to my body, and then integrated again, and then woke up, and then could remember the exit and the reintegration with my physical body. I have very few of those. Usually the astral travel memories that I do have is very, very few, but last night I did it twice. But first, okay, so let me show you how I did it. And well, actually, let me first show you this book, Astral Dynamics by Robert Bruce. And you know, this is very, like, invaluable. Okay, like the guy was, this man, I don't even know where to start, but he, you know, you got to read this book if you want to do astral projection. You've got to read this book. Yeah, it'll tell you everything you need to know about the different bodies, or the different layers of bodies, and you know, how to transition basically from each one, and how, you know, the process of exit and reintegration, and you know, everything. It's all there, all the basics. It's all there. So the key, how do you astral project? Now, what you really need is you need an inclination like that. See how I've got the pillows sort of up there, so that when I lie down on it, it gives me sort of from sort of my torso, from my mid torso upwards, it gives me sort of a you know, 25-30 degree kind of inclination there. It's just so that I don't fall asleep. So what I did, I woke up and I was awake at quite early, probably like 3:30, 4 a.m., something like that. I just couldn't sleep, so I was like, okay, let's do some astral projection. And so I set the pillows up, and then I moved the thing to lay there, and basically it was very difficult to kind of, a few different thoughts going through my mind at the time, so it was not easy to kind of get into the right. It was not easy to kind of to sink down into those, you know, past the beta and then alpha, and then start to go into those theta brain waves, where you know, you start to get those, you call them dream flashes. You know, like when you're lying down and just going to sleep, and your mind sort of starts to sink down. You're in a beta waking consciousness, and then it goes down alpha creative, and then you're just sinking down into alpha, and then you get these weird flashes of, you hear people talking to you, or just different amalgamations of stuff that happen during the day, or, you know, just random flashes that come by and stuff like that. So that's the point where you have to get to, and you kind of have to float on just on that point, and then charge your energy body, and then you know, kind of engage with your, actually, you know, charge your energy body, and then send some of that energy to your you charge up your projected double, your real-time double, which is a body that will basically, your consciousness will shift to that body, and then you can go out and fly around. And it was difficult to get to that point. Somehow there was a few different thoughts going through my mind, and couldn't really manage it. But I did kind of do some charging, and then I was like, okay, gonna go to sleep now. That's enough. I'm done trying. You know, I'm probably not going to manage it. So then what I did, I actually I said, okay, fuck it, just gonna go to sleep. Okay, I laid down here, and then yeah, and then I went to sleep. And then all of a sudden my real-time body went whee! And I could feel my astral legs sort of coming up, like my physical legs were here, and then my astral body legs went whee, like that. And I was like, yay, I'm almost about to astral project. And then I felt my body again, and then, you know, the weirdest thing, I managed this, so you need an exit technique, basically. You need a technique to get out, and one of them is, some people imagine there's a rope hanging down, and then they kind of use their astral arms to kind of climb out of their body. And there's various different ways. But what I managed to do last night is I was kind of like, I just felt this rolling sensation, this kind of swirling, and then I was like, and then I went, swirled this way, and then all of a sudden, I went swirling, out like, and then boom, I was standing here, and I was like, holy shit, oh my god, yay, I managed to get out, I'm free from my physical body. And I was standing here, and I was like, okay, let's do some training. Okay, yes, a 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2 and a 1, 2, 1, 2 and a 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2 and a 1. Okay, that's fun. Now let me try and see what else I can do. And then I flew around, I looked around, and I went through the wall. I went through the window, through the wall, and I looked around. My mind is just creating an amalgamation of reality and fantasy. So it's kind of a half cross between a dream and an astral projection. That's what it could have been. Because when I looked down, I could not see my physical body there. I could not see my physical, because I was projecting at night, but outside was, and it was lucid. Like I was walking around like this, and I was, you know, in control, and I could remember everything I was doing. And yeah, I looked around, I looked up, could see the sky, and then I flew up into the clouds and looked around, kind of over like grey clouds. Or I may have projected into a higher astral dimension. So there's the real time zone. If you're not familiar with astral projections, when you project out, usually you project into the real time zone, which is a direct mirror reflection. That may be it. And thing is, I met a couple people as I was walking down the street in the astral, in that dimensional where I was, and I think the first guy I was walking down the street there, and again, this was not like just a dream. The first guy I saw on was a shock, because I couldn't. It was actually a mask. He was a costume thing he was wearing. It was like this big grey pumpkin head with a kind of a creepy, jagged mouth, and then creepy eyes, and a jagged head with a weird jagged mouth and two weird and kind of, yeah, I don't know. But then it seemed kind of nice, but a little bit creepy, a little bit weird. And then he offered me these some kind of that was weird. And then he took this pumpkin thing off, and then it was a normal guy, and then he walked inside his house. I was like, wow. And then I can't remember if it was the same guy or not, but there was a guy that called me from the window of his house, and I said, hey, you start to disintegrate, and then you just wake up in your body, and you kind of lose the whole experience. So you gotta make the astral projections like pretty quick. It depends how experienced you are, but you know, I'm not that experienced, but I think there's quite a lot of energy thing, which is gonna come back to me at some point. But yeah, I was talking to this guy, and then I thought, oh shit, I better get back to my physical body so that I can actually download this whole experience and remember it. And so I said, okay, sorry guy, I'll see you later. Spirits of people, they may people, I'm saying, just people like you and I that passed on from here, and then now they're there, and yeah, they're doing what they're doing, so you just don't want to interfere with them too much. So I really wanted to tell them, hey, this is, I'm just on my first on a did it. And then I did it again. So I did it, no, sorry, the second time. The first time I actually just flew around and it was very quick, like 15, 20, maybe 30 seconds, and then I went back, and then the second time it was that longer trip. So yes,